All right, guys, Asking Felon back with another one for you. Remember, hit that like, comment, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. If everybody who watches this hits that subscribe button, I can meet my goal, and then I'll be able to go into detail about how Judge was pulling strings for people, and I got some good stories, but I gotta wait for my audience to get bigger. But with that being said, today somebody asked me a question: if someone offered me $1 million, would I go back to prison for 1 year? So, if somebody offered me $1 million for a year in prison. That'd be pretty. That's hard there. Probably. I think I would for $1 million. Yeah, I'd go sacrifice a year, and then I could take care of my family after that. So it'd be worth it. I'd have to set up. I'd have to be set up good. Know that everybody was gonna come visit me. Know that I had money on my books. And if I knew it was only 1 year, I'd do it for $1 million. Yeah, I think I would. What's something people only understand after they lost everything? When you lose everything and you're at rock bottom, you learn a lot. Like you learn a lot when you're at rock bottom. But everybody's rock bottom's different. My rock bottom was losing my wife, the kids, my house, vehicle, like completely losing everything. Like no possible way to even think of how I can start is was my rock bottom. And when you're at that low point, you know that anything can make things better. Something as simple when you're that low, something as simple as a cigarette, something as simple as a pop. Simple things like that are it makes you appreciate a lot of things. Like if there's anybody out there who's ever been to rock bottom, like literally rock bottom starting from scratch, you understand what I'm saying. It also shows you who's there, who's true and who's fake because when you lose everything and you're at rock bottom, you'll see people who are scared to talk to you because they're afraid you're going to ask for help. Like that sticks out a bunch. That's something that I'll never forget is the way people act just because they know you're at rock bottom. Some people will be helping and be like, look, you can come stay with us. Or, hey, do you need me? You need a couple bucks so you can make it through the day. But then you got them other people who's like, won't even answer their phone calls for you. Or they won't even answer texts or nothing because they're afraid you're going to ask for something because they know you're at rock bottom. So they know you need help. And them's the type of people who avoid you. And what it will do is it'll weed out the ones who ain't real. It'll weed out the ones who don't really truly care about you. If you're something, if you're around people that only want something that you can do for them, then that'll stop real quick. So when you hit rock bottom, you'll see who's worth keeping in your life and who ain't worth keeping in your life. So that's something you realize once you lost everything is you understand that life is about what you can do for people, not what people can do for you. It's about what you can do for other people because the ones who want something from you, they just stop. They fall off. They fall off as soon as they know you're at rock bottom. Can a bad decision define a good person forever? I mean, I guess depends on whose eyes you're looking through. I mean, a bad decision shouldn't define people forever, but there's that stigma that just if you did something like me, I did burglary. People who don't know me, like somebody got in these comments the other day, which really pissed me off because the dude don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Said that he was like, "You think it's a joke? You stole from people knowing it would hurt them, and you don't have no regret for it. What have you been watching? Because every one of my videos, I own up to my shit. I've always owned up to my shit. Sometimes I'm too honest and own up to my shit. Like I just got that conscience in the heart to where it'll eat at me if I don't own up to my shit. So whoever that guy was, you can eat a bag of dicks, but with that being said, that was what a bad decision shouldn't define of a person forever because once somebody learns from a mistake, or if you learn everything the hard way, I've learned everything the hard way in life. I've learned about marriage the hard way in life. I've learned about jail and prison the hard way in life. I've learned about jobs the hard way in life. I've learned everything, hurting your family, everything. Everything I've learned it the hardest way possible. I don't know if that's, and all it's done is make me a stronger person to where little things that other people would stress out about, it don't bother me. It's like, oh shit, that ain't shit. That ain't even a problem really. I don't know why you're tripping out about it, but all it did was make me stronger. And it can define a person forever because depending on who's looking at you through their eyes, you could still be the same person. You know, they could be like, well, I remember, because there's people out there now remembers me from 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, and that the last impression they had, their last memory of me was who I was. They don't realize that it's been 10, 20 years and I've been to prison, got out, been living a normal life, married with kids, raising my household. So I guess it all depends on who's looking at you. Because if it's somebody who you ain't seen in the last 10, 20 years, their last memory of you is going to be stuck in their head. They don't know the you that's changed. Yeah, they might have heard you've been to prison, but unless you're living it, you can't appreciate what it really is, how it really changes somebody. But then again, I've seen people who's made bad decisions and then keep making bad decisions. But I've seen people who change too. So I don't think one bad decision should define a person forever. What scares me now more than prison ever did, for losing my freedom or losing one of my parents or a family member. I've never lost nobody close to me in my life. So if I was to lose somebody close to me, that's what scares me the most. That's why one of the reasons I'm worried about ever having to go back to prison, because I know at this age, if I was to go back to prison, people might not be around when I get out. So that's what scares me more than prison ever did, is the fact that I could lose somebody, and if I'm in prison, that would be one hell of a thing I'd never be able to forgive myself for, because it'd be my fault, you know. And not only is it selfish, because I'm locked up away, so I'm taking my time with them away from them. I don't know if that sounded right, but the time they could have had with me before they passed is how I feel. You know what I mean? It's like taken away from them, because when you got people who love and care about you, it's like they do the time with you when you're in prison or jail. You know, that, I mean, out of sight, out of mind. That's usually how it works. But if somebody really loves you and you have a close relationship, like I have a close relationship with my family, we see each other every day, if not at least every other day, or we talk to each other through text or phone calls or actually in person. But that's just with my sisters and my mom. My dad and my brother, they're drama kings and they love to keep drama going and they love to stir up shit. So I stay far away from them, especially after my brother snitched me out and had me arrested on my warrants. So I stay away from them too. But other than that, I got a real close relationship with my family. So that's what scares me more than prison ever did. How do you know when you've truly changed? You know, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, how would somebody even know I've changed? I guess it just comes from the actions, your actions. Like I used to be real high strung and stressed out to where any little thing would piss me off. Like it, because, but it wasn't really the thing that happened that pissed me off. It was so much anger and shit built up inside me, stressed out all the time because I'm worried it's cops coming. Oh fuck! Next time I'm walking down the road, a cop's gonna stop me, and this could be my last minute. So everything seems like a rush. It's like I was living my life on rush and always snapping out, being pissed off in a bad mood and shit. I was always in a bad mood when I was married. Like it was just too much stress. It was like I'm doing everything. Can I get help here? Can't you lift a finger and help me do something? These are your kids and not mine. You throw it in my face all the time how they're yours, and if we ever split up, they go with you and shit. So that I used to be stressed out all the time. And then I got to a point when once we're divorced and I lost her, I ain't stressed out like that because I ain't got to worry about who she's talking to. Because I ain't got to worry about who she's cheating on me with. I ain't got to worry about what day she's going to decide to have a hair up her ass and kick me out again like she's done it 3 or 4 times before. So it's like, you notice you changed when the things that used to bother you don't matter no more. That's the only way I guess I can put it. The easiest, simplest way is the things that used to bother you don't matter, and they don't even matter no more. Because I know now I'm more calm, I'm more relaxed, and it ain't just because of my marriage or nothing like that. It's because of everything. When you're living in a high stressful situation like being on the run or having probation or a court date, you know, like I got court coming up soon. I got to come up with money for fees, so I got to worry about that. You know, but I ain't stressing out and going crazy over it. I know I'll figure out a way to pay my fees, but Any other time I'd be stressing out. I'd be in a shitty mood all the time until I got the money to figure out and know that I was good. But I know that something will come through. I'll be able to pull up the $3,000 I need to pay it off so I don't go to jail. But a year ago, it would have threw me into a panic and it would have stressed me out. I mean, right now I can't. Worrying don't change nothing. Like it's that simple. Worrying ain't gonna put the money in my pocket. Worrying ain't gonna make the fees go away. So it's like, what's the point of worrying? All it does is stress you out to the max. So why worry about it? Am I worried about it? Yeah, I'm worried about it, but I'm not gonna drive myself crazy over it. You know, it ain't gonna do no good for me. So, but that's how I know when you truly change. When certain things don't bother you, when you don't look at you don't look at life the same way as you did. That's the only way I can try to make it make sense is just not looking at things like you used to, or not getting pissed off about things you used to, or not throwing yourself into a worry and a panic like you used to. If your life became a movie, what would it be called? Learning the Hard Way. That would be the name of the movie, Learning the Hard Way. That'd be the title. Come on and tune in for Learning the Hard Way with Brian. That's the title of what it would be, because I've learned every lesson in life the hardest way possible. But with that being said, guys, that was my last question. I wanted to jump on here and give a video for today. I try to keep it, I always post a video, at least one a day. Sometimes I do one in the morning and one in the afternoon, one in the evening. Today, this is the evening. I might post another one or two later. It depends on how my audience is. But I need you guys to do me a favor, and if you watch this, hit that subscribe button. It don't cost no money. It don't cost you nothing except for a click of a button. But it helps my channel in ways you never know. Like, I'm not monetized yet. I don't have enough subscribers or watch time, so it's not about the money, but it is to help build my channel and get this out to more people. So please hit that subscribe button. Throw some questions in the comment section. But with that being said, that's all I got for this one. Till next one, see ya.